They weren't just photos, they were echoes. 15 vanished lives trapped in a concrete time capsule beneath their feet. An elderly couple's dream home hides a dark, unthinkable secret right in the foundation. Margaret and Harold Ellis, retired and ready for a fresh start, had dreamed of a quiet life in the countryside. When they found the charming brick house at the edge of Willow Creek, they saw possibility, peace, comfort, and a chance to rebuild after years in the city's frantic chaos. It was a misty April morning when Harold, an avid DIY enthusiast, began renovating the old basement. The house, built in 1954, groaned with history. Creaky floorboards, faded wallpaper peeling like old memories, and an unmistakable scent of time itself. While chipping away at the cracked concrete foundation to fix a leak, Harold's hammer struck something unusual, a hollow metal tube buried deep into the concrete. Curiosity overpowered caution. Together, Harold and Margaret pried open the heavy capsule. Inside, they found a sealed box containing dozens of black and white photographs, each labeled with names and dates. 15 faces, all identified as missing persons reported years, even decades ago. Shock knitted their brows. These weren't just any photos. They were grim reminders of people lost, forgotten by time, their disappearances cold cases in the local police files. Why would such a strange, secret capsule lie hidden here? And who had placed it beneath their home? As Margaret's hands trembled holding a photo of a young girl who vanished in 1978, both felt the weight of a mystery far beyond anything their quiet lives could have prepared them for. The foundation beneath their feet was holding something much darker than mere concrete. The Ellis couple's discovery quickly became the epicenter of a chilling mystery gripping Willow Creek's sleepy streets. The photographs, yellowed and fragile, stirred old headlines in the town's dusty records and reopened cold case files once assumed frozen in time. Each image was labeled carefully by hand, names, ages, and dates marking the final known moments before disappearance. 15 individuals, some were local, others from neighboring towns. The dates ranged from the late 1960s to the early 1980s, a period marked by a spike in unresolved missing persons cases nationwide. Margaret and Harold, both pragmatic but shaken, handed the capsule over to local police, who immediately recognized its significance. Detective Laura Brennan, head of the Missing Persons Unit, revealed the grim reality. None of the 15 had ever been located. "We checked these names against our national database," Brennan said in a solemn meeting with the Ellises. "Many were presumed victims of foul play, but no bodies or evidence had ever led us this far. This capsule, it's a horrifying breadcrumb from someone who wanted these stories remembered, or perhaps hidden." During the investigation, a sense of deeply human tragedy unfolded. Among the photos were faces of teenagers, one just 16, another barely 21, alongside adults in their 40s and 50s. Many had faded documents with hasty scribbled notes of last sightings and witness statements describing vanished dinners, abandoned cars, unanswered phone calls. Local historian and amateur detective Jeffrey Mason sifted through archives, uncovering more layers to this mystery. He found that the house the Ellis couple now lived in had once belonged to an anonymous construction magnate, Lawrence Connors, who died mysteriously in 1982. Connors was a reclusive figure, linked to several shady building projects and rumors of hidden secrets beneath his developments. Most curious was a 1979 article describing the disappearance of a group of construction workers who had been remodeling his estate before vanishing without a trace. Margaret asked aloud during the meeting, "Why would someone bury these photos here? Were they a warning, a confession, or a memorial?" Detective Brennan replied, "Perhaps all three. Whoever created this capsule was bearing witness to something tragic. 15 vanished souls, preserved in silence." The townsfolk were torn between fear and fascination. News broke that a capsule containing photos of missing persons was found beneath a forgotten foundation. Conspiracy theories swirled. Was Connors involved? Had someone used his properties to hide dark secrets? Or was this a desperate act by a worried insider? Amid rising tension, a second discovery surfaced. A neighbor reported hearing late-night noises during renovation, and security footage revealed a shadowy figure lurking near the property days before the capsule was found. The figure vanished before the police arrived. This sparked the first major breakthrough. The forensic team examined the capsule's metal composition, revealing it was manufactured post-1968 but before 1982, consistent with Connor's ownership period. Records also showed Connors hired a demolitions expert named Jack Harlan, who disappeared after a construction accident in 1977. Harlan's name surfaced in witness reports connecting him with disappearances near various sites tied to Connors. The investigation deepened with an emotional toll. Margaret and Harold, once hopeful for a quiet retirement, found themselves entangled in an unfolding nightmare. Detective Brennan confided, "This isn't just a case. These people's families deserve answers, but we might be uncovering something even more sinister than we feared." Weeks of forensic analysis showed traces of a rare concrete additive around the capsule, often used in industrial structures for covert burial or concealment, not residential homes. The Ellis' peaceful house had harbored an unnatural secret since its foundation. The media caught wind. Headlines screamed, "15 missing souls buried in silence," stirring public fear and sorrow. The town council faced calls for renewed safety measures and historic site audits. Then came the unthinkable. One photo was identified as a person who had recently been reported missing in a neighboring county. It shattered assumptions. The capsule was not frozen in time but possibly updated over years, either adding new victims or symbolizing an ongoing secret. This revelation forced Detective Brennan to consider that the capsule might be a dark ledger maintained by an unknown party with deep local or regional influence. The missing person's connections suddenly seemed intertwined with wider criminal networks, rumored but never proven. Detective Laura Brennan and her team focused the investigation on uncovering the true story behind Lawrence Connors and the capsule buried beneath his former property. Initial searches for Connors revealed conflicting information. Official death records indicated he passed away in 1975 in Massachusetts, far from Willow Creek. Yet, his mysterious business dealings and quiet disappearance from public life in the early 1980s fueled speculation. Forensic analysis revealed that the capsule had been deliberately sealed and hidden in the foundation during the late 1970s, in the final years of Connors' ownership. A deeper dive into Connors' construction projects uncovered troubling overlaps with known missing persons cases and suspicious disappearances tied to the properties he developed in neighboring towns. Holding on to the capsule and its contents became not just a puzzle, but a race against time. Vivian, a family member of one of the missing, contacted the police with a desperate plea for justice. She believed the photos might uncover the ultimate fate of her sister, last seen near one of Connors' job sites in 1979. As pieces of the puzzle fell into place, surveillance footage and witness testimony identified Jack Harlan, Connors' demolition expert, long suspected of foul play, as the possible executor of these disappearances. Harlan was linked to construction sites where multiple victims had last been seen or were rumored to have vanished. The breakthrough moment came when investigators uncovered a hidden cache of documents in Connors' abandoned office, listing payment records and cryptic notes referencing disposing problems and reasons to hide beneath concrete. These papers suggested that Connors' enterprises may have been a front for more sinister activities. The capsule, it turned out, was both a call for help and an accusation, a grim memorial for the disappeared, buried where no one would look. The presence of this unique artifact forced local law enforcement to reopen numerous cold cases, leading to renewed investigations, arrests, and eventual convictions related to human trafficking and forced disappearances tied to illegal construction operations. In the immediate aftermath, the Ellis couple wrestled with their new reality. A house once meant for comfort and retirement had become a dark symbol of forgotten lives and hidden truths. Their personal ordeal sparked media attention that transformed their quiet community into a focal point for justice. The discovery beneath the Ellis' home changed everything for Willow Creek and beyond. The reopening of cold cases brought painful but necessary closure to families haunted by uncertainty for decades. Lawrence Connor's shadow loomed large as law enforcement dismantled a web of corruption, greed, and cruelty hidden beneath the very foundations of the community. This story forces viewers to confront difficult questions. How many forgotten souls remain buried in silence? How far do we look beneath the surface, both in our homes and our society, to uncover hidden truths? Justice often demands unearthing the uncomfortable, challenging us to act not out of fear, but with empathy and resolve.
Don't forget to subscribe to Real Mystery Reports for more strange, dark, and profoundly human stories. New true mysteries every day.